of the station that's on your side. This is News 12, first at 5.
Well, some Augusta neighbors' water bills are doubling. The problem's tying back to the city's cyber attack.
So what we had to do is we had to estimate for about 5 weeks. And so during that period of time, anybody's meter who was due to be read was estimated.
And some of those bills now in the hundreds at this point.
And the city claims they're back to functioning as normal, but the impact of this cyber attack, it is still hitting people in the wallet. Our Craig Allison explains how manpower and the loss of city functions for more than a month is the reason why.
Augustans are seeing their water bills double and saying this can't be true. But Augusta Utilities is saying that's right on track to make up for the city's cyber attack in May that brought a number of city systems to a complete halt. They say the cyber attack rendered electric readers useless to measure these water meters for 5 weeks after the attack started. With about 75,000 meters to read in Richmond County, they say the job would have been too big for their 15 employees to each manually tackle 5,000 meters a month. The solution, estimating averages from the previous 3 months to get the right price. For May to June, that would mean looking at February, March, and April. Now, at the annual increased summer water use, the typical price bump that happens slowly over 2 months has now hit all in one.
We just need to caution people to be aware that if they sprinkled like before Masters and they sprinkled in May, it's not going to show up until you got that next bill, and it's probably going to be about double what you expected, but then your bills would be normal again after that.
All new on News 12 at 6 o'clock. We're also hearing from an Augustan who isn't satisfied with Augusta Utilities' response and hopes to get more answers soon on what's going on with her bills.
All right, thanks, Craig. And if you live in Augusta and your water bill has shot up, you're not helpless. You can dispute the bill by calling Augusta Utilities at 706-821-1851.
We'll get that for you online so you don't have to look it up. We do have a potential traffic issue happening now near the medical district. Almost 2,000 people are without power near Walden Way and 15th Street. This is the Harrisburg area. We're showing you a traffic map that's showing congestion in that area too. We're making calls now to see if there was a crash or another cause for that power outage. But Riley, you're tracking traffic across the area right now. Any other issues that you're seeing?
None on our traffic cameras that I'm able to see right now. Looking at a beautiful day across Augusta. It's a little bit hot out there. No major concerns here on I-20 or Riverwatch Parkway. Going out to exit 190 Grovetown, no major issues there either. Looking mostly dry, so weather's not going to be a huge impact to you driving on the roadways for the rest of today. Temperature-wise, it has been very hot, though. Starting around lunchtime, we started getting close to 100 on the heat index. We've been as hot as 102 on the heat index so far today, and that's actually what it currently feels like. So it is a very hot afternoon for us. Unfortunately, only getting a little bit hotter heading into tomorrow. And we are not the only ones. Take a look across the southeast. 106, what it feels like right now at Jackson, 100 in Birmingham. Atlanta, one of the cooler spots, at least feeling below 100. Here's our setup on our First Alert radar network. So this cold front still well north of us. That is going to push through by Wednesday and actually drop our temperatures a good bit between tomorrow and the middle of the week. So that is something to look forward to. And we also have potential tropical cyclone 9 in the Gulf of Mexico. So a little bit active around the CS array, but on top of us right now, pretty calm and just very hot. Temperatures this evening going to stay in the 80s for us. We'll eventually get into the 70s by around midnight. Overnight tonight, not really going to see cool temperatures by any means. Most likely waking up anywhere from the low to mid 70s across the area. And then tomorrow afternoon actually has the potential to be the hottest day we have seen so far for 2023 here in Augusta. 99 is what we're going with. The hottest temperature we've seen so far this year is 97. We hit that a couple times last week. We'll see how long this hot temp sticks around the full forecast in just about 10 minutes.
All right, thanks for that, Riley. Former President Donald Trump has agreed to a $200,000 bond and some other release conditions after his lawyers met with Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. Trump was charged last week in the case alongside 18 allies. They are all charged with 41 counts tied to efforts to overturn Georgia's 2020 election. Trump and the 18 others have until Friday to surrender. This is the fourth criminal indictment against the former president, who is running again for president in 2024.
The search for a 2-year-old Atlanta child continues nearly 5 days after he went missing. Josiah was last seen late Wednesday night. His father, Artavius North, reported he was kidnapped during an armed robbery in Decatur. Police say that is not true and arrested North for filing a false report and making false statements. Now, over the weekend, investigators drained a lake by where the father's apartment complex is, but did not say why they were focusing on this area. In the meantime, the toddler's grandparents are heartbroken but remain optimistic and hopeful.
It's something that you don't want to feel. No, nobody want to feel the way I feel right now.
Please, please. I don't know what the issue may be or why, but all we need is Josiah. We don't want nothing else. We don't want nothing more. We just want Josiah.
For now, the entire lake at the complex is taped off as investigators continue their search.
3 people are facing charges after a 3-year-old allegedly ingests fentanyl. Investigators say deputies responded to an unresponsive child on Thursday in Augusta. The 3-year-old was taken to AU Health, where she is now stable. A drug test confirmed she had fentanyl in her bloodstream. 3 other children were taken in by deputies after one was found to have injuries on his back. Medical personnel also noticed a 5-month-old who was drinking from a bottle with maggots inside. Matthew Moss, Talitha Broman, and Andis Alicia Barthley are all facing charges, including cruelty to children, deprivation of a minor, and possession of drug-related objects and cocaine. Today, the CDC is recognizing National Fentanyl Prevention and Awareness Day. It is a day to discuss the dangers of fentanyl, share ways to prevent fatal overdoses, and to remember those who have been killed by the drug. According to the Georgia Department of Public Health, fentanyl is the #1 killer of adults ages 30 to 50 in Augusta-Richmond County. Naxalone is a drug capable of reversing a fentanyl overdose. In both Georgia and South Carolina, you can get it for free without a prescription from a local DHEC health clinic.
Starting next week, many Americans will face new requirements to stay eligible for federal food assistance.
Our State House reporter Mary Green has the details on changes coming to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, better known as SNAP.
Right now, certain Americans enrolled in SNAP are required to work or volunteer at least 20 hours a week to stay eligible. In the coming weeks, more people will be under that requirement.
DSS, again, didn't make this decision. We just implement what is required by the federal government, and President Biden signed this as part of the Fiscal Responsibility Act of 2023. So that's where these changes came into place.
Right now, this requirement applies to SNAP recipients determined to be able-bodied adults without dependents ages 18 to 49. Next week, that age range bumps up to 18 to 50, and then again in October to 18 to 52. There are exceptions to this work requirement, some of which are new. These are for people who can't work because of a physical or mental disability, those who live in a SNAP household with a minor, who are pregnant, veterans, homeless, and people formerly in foster care up to age 24. The director of South Carolina Appleseed Legal Justice Center says if SNAP recipients get a notice that they'll soon be under the work requirements, they should be aware of the exemptions and see if any apply to them.
We want people to understand that so they can tell their DSS worker, and despite all the other obstacles in their way of being able to work, they're at least not being forced to go hungry.
Lawmakers put a temporary law in the current state budget that prohibits the state through DSS from applying for any additional waivers related to that SNAP work requirement, something that other states might do. Berkowitz says that should be re-examined to at least allow South Carolina the possibility if it needs it. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.
SNAP recipients who fall in the work requirement age range do not have an exemption and don't meet that work requirement can only get benefits for 3 months. Then they lose their benefits for the next 36 months unless they start and continue to meet that work requirement.
Taking a moment to hear what our elders have to say. Just ahead on this National Senior Citizens Day, what wisdom they have to share with us. Riley?
And if you thought it was hot today, we're expecting even hotter temperatures tomorrow, but luckily it does not stick around all week. We'll have the full forecast next.
Garden City Rescue Mission rescues about 400 men each year. Now the rescue mission needs to be rescued in return. Coming up all new tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we take you inside and introduce you to the men and hear from them what this place means.
Right now.
It's a great time to get your lawn in shape with a new mower from Davis Appliance and Furniture. We offer no credit needed financing and delivery options to meet your needs. For the brands you trust at the lowest prices in town, visit us at Davis Appliance and Furniture.
When someone walks. Introducing the First Alert Radar Network. First just got faster.
With up to 10 times the resolution of other local radars and technology that can pinpoint right down to your street.
The First Alert Radar Network. First just got faster.
It's the perfect time to update your living space with a new sofa and love seat set from Davis Appliance and Furniture. Or update your indoor appliances with no credit needed financing. For the brands you trust at the lowest prices in town, visit us at Davis Appliance and Furniture.
Welcome back, folks. I want to give you an update on that traffic concern in downtown Augusta. So this is actually looking up Walton Way. There are a number of people that lost power kind of near the Harrisburg area there near downtown outside the medical district. May be able to see this. We got a cop directing traffic, a couple of cop lights there. So that's Richmond County Sheriff's Office, and it looks like those traffic lights are off, so not showing anything right now. So heads up if you plan to head towards the medical district into Walton Way towards downtown Augusta. May run into some traffic problems, but it doesn't necessarily look like traffic is backing up a ton right there. 93 degrees right now here in Augusta, but feeling like 102, so definitely a little bit more humid today, and that is going to continue into our Tuesday, unfortunately. Take a look at how it's feeling across other portions of the CS array. Most of us are at least getting up to 100, even a little bit hotter in a few locations, and our actual temperatures tomorrow should be close to 100, believe it or not. Through this evening, we're going to stay nice and dry, just a few passing clouds. Temps will eventually work their way down into the 80s past sunset. Overnight tonight, we're going to stay into the 70s, so unfortunately, saying goodbye to the 60s at least for a couple mornings. 73 is what we're going with for places like Bush Field. If you live inside the city environment like Daniel Field, you'll most likely stay closer to 80 degrees for those low temperatures tonight, so pretty hot stuff. Here's our high temperatures across the board. Tuesday, these are not heat index values. These are real temperatures expected for your Tuesday. 99 is what we're going with here in Augusta. Same thing in Barnwell, Aiken, Evans just a degree cooler at 98, but everybody should definitely feel at least up to 100, maybe even up to 105 and 106 in a few spots tomorrow afternoon. Here's the way it's looking up for our Tuesday afternoon. So mostly sunny skies. Heat alerts will be in effect for the western CS, or again for the heat index between 105 and 110. Not much rain our forecast on Tuesday. But then here comes the relief. We do bring in a backdoor cold front on Wednesday, so this is going to knock off our humidity and keep our high temperatures actually in the low 90s Wednesday afternoon. So thankfully, that's going to push through and knock off the heat for us for at least a day or two. Unfortunately, not lasting too long. Friday into the weekend, we are seeing those highs back near 100 degrees. But by Sunday, we do drop off again. So that's going to be our next front that will show up into the middle of the weekend. Until we get to the weekend, our rain chances are looking very slim, though. So I would imagine we stay bone dry all the way through our Friday night. It's not until Saturday afternoon, Sunday, and Monday our next front gets close to the region. That probably will bring us a little bit better opportunity for some showers and storms out there through the weekend. Until then, just enjoying a lot of sunshine. High temperatures close to 100 tomorrow afternoon. Once that drier, slightly cooler air arrives Wednesday night, should be able to see the 60s again, waking up early Thursday. So a very comfortable start to our Thursday morning. And then the heat does return for the weekend, but back down below average by this time next Monday.
All right, we'll take it. Thanks, Riley. Today, we take a moment to honor our elders. It is National Senior Citizens Day, created by President Ronald Reagan back in 1988. This day is an opportunity to show respect for seniors and, of course, their wisdom.
And over in Savannah, Michaela Romero stopped by a nursing home to find out what it means to live a good life.
Whether or not it's National Senior Citizens Day, it's always a good time to show appreciation for the senior citizens in our community. And in honor of the day, I had a chance to get some life advice from the experienced and wise. What is one piece of life advice that you would want to give a younger person?
Love your person myself. Love life to the fullest and be respectful to everybody. The same thing you give will come back to you.
Always stay in church and follow God as your leader, and to try to be a good Samaritan in the golden rule, I guess.
I say keep a positive mind, but to treat everyone good. Don't think of it as a loss. When you give something to someone, don't think of that as a loss. Think of, I get a good feeling when I can give somebody something they love. It makes me feel good.
As we've grown and I've grown in my walk with the Lord, it has helped me to accept things that I cannot change and and be faithful to what I can do.
Just be true to yourself and everybody else. Don't put on no airs and graces. Just be yourself. They didn't think I was going to make it. But here I am, 88 years later, and still kicking.
Some good advice there.
Yeah, I think it's such a simple message that we all forget. Just be a good person.
Just be a good person.
Be a good person out there.
Be nice.
That's all it is. It's such a simple one.
It is.
And to remember.
A push to test more people for long-time toxic contamination. Next, how one project might be a model for others nationwide.
Well, happening now live at 5, President Biden and the First Lady just arriving in Hawaii. They're there to tour the destruction caused by wildfires almost 2 weeks ago. At least 114 people are dead and another 850 are missing. FEMA says it's distributed over $8.5 million so far to about 8,000 Maui families.
Just waiting for them to step off the plane there.
Yeah, drinking water laced with toxins could be unknowingly impacting families across America.
Andy Parati from our National Investigative Team looks at what's known as the forever chemical and why some people are pushing for more testing.
Thank you, babe. Buckled?
Callie Swafford takes us on the road near the North Georgia mountains in search of an essential resource, clean water.
It's just what we've had to do and what we feel is like our best option.
It's a 20-minute drive from her home outside Rome, Georgia, in her minivan.
You ready, baby girl? Let's go.
A routine Callie says is necessary to ensure her family's drinking water is safe after the state discovered high levels of a cancer-causing toxin in a river Rome used for its drinking water 8 years ago.
It feels very third world, especially like I said when my daughter was a baby and I would have her strapped to my back and I'm 20 minutes away collecting water so that we can feel safer.
To respond to the contamination, the city shut down its primary water intake facility in 2016, using another river for its water. It's also building a new multi-million-dollar plant that will eventually remove the toxin. The chemical of concern, perfluoroalkyl, or PFAS for short, used by carpet manufacturers upstream and deposited into the Ustanala River for decades, linked to high blood pressure, cancer, and birth defects.
We don't know the complete scope of how this will affect our bodies, how it will affect our babies. I just want to know. Is there as much cause for concern as what is being presented?
To find out,
Looking at 54 minutes of flying time.
we traveled hundreds of miles to a North Carolina city that uncovered a similar problem in its water in 2017.
Welcome you to Wilmington. We have a local time of 11:21.
And how it took action could serve as a roadmap to how Georgia might respond.
This is the Cape Fear River. It provides drinking water to the city of Wilmington and other communities. And just like the city of Rome, its source of contamination is upstream, linked to a company that dumped PFAS into its water for decades. So this is the Northeast Cape Fear.
Kim Burdett is head of the Cape Fear River Watch, an environmental watchdog group.
Over 500,000 people were all impacted. They all found out on the same day that their drinking water supply was contaminated. It was contaminated by a toxic, dangerous compound, and that there was nothing we could do about it.
To measure the impact, Burdett and hundreds of Wilmington area residents took part in a study conducted by North Carolina State University to test their blood for the toxin. The results, it detected PFAS in almost everyone who participated, no matter where they lived. Burdett's blood among the most contaminated in the entire study.
It's certainly shocking and certainly kind of terrifying.
Back in Rome, Georgia, Callie wants a similar study conducted here.
I think that calls for a health emergency, 100%.
All right, thanks for that, Andy. You're taking a live look here at Myrtle Beach, courtesy of EarthCam. The city was just named the fastest growing place in the country for the third year in a row in a report by the U.S. News and Report. The list puts Myrtle Beach ahead of 4 Florida destinations that rounded out the top 5, including Sarasota, Fort Myers, Lakeland, and Port St. Lucie. Can't complain. It's not hard. I mean, it's nice to be on the beach.
Yeah,
Can't
of course.
complain with that.
No, you can't.
Riley?
Hey, the beach is a great spot to be when it's hot. Unfortunately, we're too far away for all those kiddos heading to school tomorrow. Bus stop coming home from school, we could be close to 100 degrees tomorrow afternoon. Now look at that forecast just after the break. Welcome back, folks. It's been a hot afternoon for us. We started feeling around 100 degrees today in Augusta around lunchtime, and then throughout most of the afternoon, we've been hovering between 99 and up to 102, the last actually hourly observation that came out from Bushfield. So hot stuff. Looking to get even hotter, though, unfortunately, heading into our Tuesday. Here's a look what the heat index is going to do for the next couple of afternoons. So Tuesday, right now, looking like the hottest day we'll see for the rest of the week. By Wednesday, Thursday, a backdoor cold front will move in. That will drop off our humidity and temperature. So feeling pretty good Wednesday, Thursday afternoon before we do see some intense heat return for the weekend. Until we get to the weekend, we're going to stay pretty rain-free as well. So just enjoying a lot of sunshine over the next couple of days. With these temperatures close to 100 tomorrow afternoon, folks, don't want to underemphasize that you definitely need to stay safe in this heat. Make sure you're staying hydrated. Take plenty of breaks as well.
All right, thanks, Riley. Stick with us. We have more news and weather coming up after a short break as News 12 Live at 5 continues.
I'm here for you. I'm Nora O'Donnell with the CBS 18 News.
Don't ignore the signs of